So to me, it's just about keeping the fun in the game. And at the end of the day, it's a video game. Like, I think that's the problem that people don't keep in context. They take this so serious and they live their life around Dead by Daylight. I know they take it so serious because of the comments I get and because of the direct messages I get. I mean, I've literally gotten death threats over this game. I get people wishing cancer upon my mother. They want to, see me drown. The things that they say to me, it's just like, these are really upset people. They say I'm a bad person, but like, I don't think I'm a bad person compared to the things that they say. Like, I'm cheating in a video game to make funny videos to entertain people. And yeah, it's at the expense of somebody not getting a 4K for a single match or something, but people are really taking it out of context. It's a video game. But back,
Yeah, I don't think anything from a video game like that, like even though you're hacking, I don't think it should resort to those kinds of comments. And I really am. I'm sorry that you do receive them because,
I
again,
mean,
like I said at the start, you're a human being. Everyone is entitled to respect. Everyone has their own
but
rights.
that's just the internet, and that's
Yeah.
YouTube, and that's DBD. Now, I know there would be people that hear this or whatever and say, well, you shouldn't have another chance because you knew what you did was wrong and it was the crime of the century. And in fact, you should get the death penalty for such a horrific crime that you've committed. Whatever. What I'm doing, like, technically, yes, it's cheating, hacking, whatever, but in the way that I'm doing it is like silliness, content, funny stuff. I don't see it as a game. Like, I don't go in there and win and then trash talk the opposition and be like, oh, you're so terrible. Or I'm not going in there and pretending to play legit and subtly hacking for a little advantage to get a win. Like, that does nothing for me. Like, that's not, like, why even bother? I'm sure you yourself understand that this is interesting enough that people will watch it and it will pull in some kind of views and some kind of viewership, some kind of audience. You don't necessarily want to go in there and be the hacker and tarnish your reputation, whatever that may be, especially not if you're a big YouTuber with an established name who is known for calling out the toxicity and calling out the hackers and all that. So, like who recently made a video on me, right? So he can't go in there and showcase hacks. Like, I mean, come on, like that's not his thing. He can't do that. So what can he do? He can take my video clips and show the hacks, and he's pretty much advertising them just the same. The only thing is he's hiding the actual source of the hacks, but he's showing what the hacks can do. He's showing clips of me using them to say, like, oh, look, they know where the hatch is. Oh, look, he can teleport here. Oh, he can blind the killer from over there. And he's still showing them off, just in a different way. And he's showing them off, and people are watching for the views because it's interesting, but he's painting himself as the good guy that's saying, look how terrible this is. Can you believe this guy would stoop to this level and do such a horrific thing? Like, this is just, cringe. But yet he's making that same content just from a different angle because he knows that content gets views. And it's just different, and people are interested. And while some will turn their head and say, I don't want to look at that, ew, gross, there's a lot of people that want to see it. So the reason for doing it now is, like I said, simply because it can be fun, it can be funny. But why did I start doing it? Because it was like a trial period, and I was trying to appease a friend who was trying to do me a favor by getting me back everything I lost. And I reluctantly said, okay, I'll try it. I'm going to try it for a month, see how this goes. So I messed with it for a month, and these are a lot of the results here. Now, on top of it, all the hatred that I've gotten because of it. Well, that too has become very interesting, and it has a somewhat of a backwards effect, right? Because They're hating me because they want me to stop hacking. And they want to bully me into not hacking by giving me so much hatred and tell me the community hates you. Nobody likes you. Don't you see how terrible your reputation is? None of us like you. Like, you're not accepted by us, right? And so they want to try to bully me into like a hole that I'm going to crawl away and like wither up and be gone, as if I'm the only hacker, right? As if I go away, the hacking problem is solved, of course. But so that's what they're trying to accomplish: to get me banned, get my YouTube taken down, get my TikTok shut down. They want to just bully me out of existence. And
Yeah.
I've always been the type of person that will resist a bully. So the more they do that, the more I stand firm and say, you know what, even though DBD is kind of getting boring, I'm not even having that much fun doing any of this half the time. On principle alone, I'm just like, you're not going to bully me
Yeah.
into like, and see, and the difference is what you're doing is different. And at least what I think you're doing, I don't care if you're going to twist my words around and make me say something I didn't say or take me out of context. There's nothing I can do to stop that. But from what I get from this, it seems like you genuinely want to hear my side of things. And if that's the case, I commend you for that. And I think that that is the road that people should be taking. That's what these other people who made videos on me should have done, and should have said, hey, let's like talk to this guy and see if we can come to some kind of rational common ground here. Let me see if I can understand what he's doing, why he's doing it, and maybe even compel him to stop doing it or something. But the bottom line is taking a reasonable approach and it's like you said, a mature conversation. If in fact that's what this is. I know I'm doing all the ranting, but you told me to take the floor and put it all out there, and that's what I'm doing. But if that's really what we're doing here, then I think that is a step in the right direction as far as communicating like human beings, and not using the bully tactics, because the bully tactics are what I'm going to stand up against. I know my name is Trolling Prophet, but it's just a name. Like, I don't go out there to deliberately try to troll anyone. Yes, the hacks are kind of, I guess you could say they're trolling because you're doing things you're not supposed to be doing, and it's silly, and in a way it's a troll. But when I say like trolling, I'm not really trying to cause anyone serious grief. I don't want somebody to really be harmed by this in any way. I'm not really trying to ruin anybody's game or their experience, or make them like hurt their feelings, or have them uninstall the game out of frustration, or definitely hurt themselves or anything of that nature. Like, I don't get anything out of that. In fact, like, that would bother me if I felt that I was really causing somebody some kind of serious emotional turmoil from this stuff. That's not the intention at all. Not my intentions at all. But the second somebody starts bullying me, like, my mentality is like, I will troll the trolls. If they're going to hit me with some backhanded compliment, or like some kind of like what do you call it? Like a passive aggressive comment, or they're going to attack me with some bully tactics, or try to get me to, like bully me into submission with their words and their hatred and stuff. Like, that's where I stand my ground. And I don't know, like, I don't want to say like, kind of like bully the bullies or troll the trolls, but like, the only people that I don't care about griefing are those that are going to start it with me. Like, at the end of every game I play, whether it's with or without hacks, I say, good game, well played, good luck next. I start off with that every time. If somebody comes at me with something like toxic or inappropriate or nasty, okay, I might respond back and troll them back or say something back to them. Usually it's all in good fun. It's just a dumb response. It's like, I never lose. I never lose. You can't stop me. I never lose. Like, it's just a persona. It's just a stupid act. And all this stuff about like me responding and being stupid and silly and stuff, like, in those responses that I made, like, I wasn't going to sit there and really put the effort into making video responses. This person called me out, made a second video on me, said, well, why don't you explain what you mean? And I said, okay, I'll explain what I mean. But at the same time, they mocked me for their entire video. So in return, when I made my response, I was basically just treating them with the same flippant kind of attitude that they treated me, like the satire and the mocking. And that's why I came up with the nickname SpooknJukes. And because it's like, I feel like if he sincerely wanted to make the community better and he really wanted to solve a problem, or at least work towards a goal to solve a problem, he would have done what you did and approached me and said, hey, like I've caught on to what you're doing. People are sending me your videos. I've watched a little bit of it, but I want to hear straight from you, like what you're doing, why you're doing it, why you think it's okay. And just call me out to my face and confront me or whatever. You don't have to, you can hide my name if you don't want to promote me as the hacker, whatever. You don't want to look like you're contributing to the problem. I get all that. Like you have a reputation to uphold and all that, but you know what I'm saying? It's like his approach wasn't productive. It didn't make anyone a better person. It didn't fix the problem. It didn't work towards a goal. All it did was create more toxicity, more mocking, more hatred, more attacking, more bullying. He didn't do anything constructive with his video. Now, if it was just to laugh at, because it was silly, like I laughed a little bit at it, but I just think that what he did was he fed these people, because maybe from his perspective, it's not that serious, because maybe it's just a silly satirical video that he did. But from the perspective of his audience, who are like coming at me now with all the mocking and the hatred, which obviously like they're going to do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to put out something and then act like you're not responsible for how your community is going to respond to it, he's setting an example for them. He's setting the example saying that this person here is such a, like, this person is worthy of mocking and condemnation and just making fun of, and like, have at it. The first thing that I got were comments after he put that out. Immediately the comments were coming in with, oh, you just had a video made on you. You got embarrassed. You got humiliated. You got exposed. Everybody's laughing at you. Nobody likes you. What a clown you are. What a fool. You're such a joke. You're this, you're that. Like, that's the fruit of his video. That's the fruit of his labor right there. It didn't have anything positive to do for the community. It didn't have any conversation that led to, hey, like, maybe there's something behavior could do to prevent these kind of things from happening. Whatever happened, the course of events has turned somebody who was a loyal customer into somebody who is now, I don't want to say an enemy. I'm not an enemy of them, but I'm like on the other team. Like, now all my videos, instead of promoting Dead by Daylight, which I guess they kind of still are, but instead of like pointing to behavior, hey, this is a great game and this is Dead by Daylight and you should get it and play it and buy it and have fun with it. Like, I don't say that stuff, but you get like making content about something, you're basically showing that and saying that without saying it. And now all of a sudden I'm working for the other team, and the other team is taking care of me and they're the competitor. And all of a sudden, it's like, it's kind of backfired on behavior. But I'm not saying that they were at fault, and I'm not saying that they were wrong. I was right. Any of that. I'm not saying this is their fault. I'm not saying I'm not saying I have a vendetta against them. I'm not saying this is about revenge. I'm not saying this is about exposing how evil they are and corrupt and what they've done wrong. If anything, it exposes just the system, in that how it backfires and takes people who were customers and not technically hackers themselves, but pushes them onto a path that makes them now become hackers who are no longer customers. These hackers that are coming back on new accounts every week, they're starting at low MMR, right? So what does that mean? It means the lowest MMR has the most hacking in it. Because every time you make a new account, you're at the lowest MMR. So all the hacking, not all of it, but most of the hacking takes place in the lowest MMR, which is all the newcomers, which is all the people who are trying to get into the game for the first time. And they're coming into the game and now they're experiencing games where they're just flooded with hackers. And people are confused and they're like, well, I just went up against a hacker that killed us all in 10 seconds. How is that even fun? Well, they don't realize they're not playing against the hacker. They're playing against a bot that is just killing them in order to raise its MMR so that when the hacker gets on the account, they can actually play against good players and higher MMR. So, maybe there's a problem in the system of how MMR goes up. Maybe that should be changed. But you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's talking about what the real problems are and possible solutions to how they could be corrected, avoided, fixed, altered, changed, modified, you know what I'm saying? Like rectified. The DBD community is very toxic, and I like to joke around and say it's just a bunch of toxic degenerates. Obviously, that's not everybody, but I like to generalize the community as, a very unpleasant, mean-spirited place full of miserable people who like to cause other people pain and get satisfaction out of seeing other people hurt because they're not content with their own lives, and it makes them feel better about themselves to feel like other people are suffering. I don't know. This is just like, obviously that's not everybody in the community, but when you get all this hatred, it feels like that. And it makes you want to stand against it more. And it makes you like relish the fact that you're an outcast. And so I put these silly little descriptions in my video titles, like, not all heroes wear capes. I might not be the hero you want, but I'm the hero you need. I'm the Robin Hood of DBD. I never lose. I'm a superhero saving the potatoes. And I just make up these silly things because I roll off of what the comments people are saying, and people say the same thing, like, imagine being so bad you have to cheat. Bro cheats in DBD because he's so bad, my guy Lamau. And so I wrote a song called Imagine Bro My Guy, and we have a little song that we sing, Imagine Bro My Guy, because these people, they parrot each other and they say the same overused cliche buzzwords and think they're original. Imagine Bro My Guy, cringe, Lamau, trash, blood, spelled B-L-U-D, and they just use the same words, and so it gets to a point where you're like, you know what? I don't want to be part of your community. You guys are mean. And we have our own little community here, and we have fun, and we're happy people, and we joke around, and we laugh, and we don't take this game that serious. And you want to hate us? Well, we kind of, we're going to stand together. We're going to bind together as the outcasts, and, we're not scared of you, and we're not going to be bullied by you, and we don't want to be part of your community. And that's how it feels. So then it becomes like, okay, fine. You want to say, oh, it's some kind of moral mission. It's not really a moral mission. It's just, we just want to play the game and have fun.
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about this. I really am glad that I got your whole side of things. To be honest, you've answered all of my questions in one, so that's brilliant. But after hearing your side of things, you know what? I don't think I really want to make this video anymore, because I can see that you really are just someone who had an unfortunate turn of events, and it's not like you're really going out your way to hurt people. There's been situations where people have deliberately used hacks to keep people in games for hours on end, hijacking people, and I can tell that that's not something you're going to do. And I mean, the video was never really going to be just solely about you. It was going to be about just everything, the entire problem of hacking anyway, and it's more about just the clients themselves than the actual people. So thank you for taking your time.